I believe the United States should be helping Israel conduct these attacks. The Iran nuclear weapons program is not an Israeli problem. It's an American problem. It's a problem of global nuclear proliferation. We let it go on far too long. What the United States needs to do now, although I don't have any idea whether the Trump administration will do it, is provide all the intelligence we can on what Iran's response might be, get American forces into the region to defend Israel, to defend our deployed forces, to defend our Arab friends in the Gulf region. And then also, we should be beginning to plan phase two of this. Given the destruction of the Israeli military facilities, it's now time to think of the campaign for regime change in Iran, because there will never be peace and security in the Middle East until that regime is gone. I think the Israeli attacks could well constitute a major destabilizing consequence inside Iran as the people look at what the Ayatollahs and their followers have brought to the country.
This is my video update on this Friday afternoon, June the 13th. Let's talk about some news. And before we get started on the big news, which is the Israeli strikes into Iran, just a quick comment on the tragic plane crash in India, a Boeing 7878, which crashed as it was taking off. 240 people killed. It was a UK-bound Air India plane, and it landed on a building, I believe a part of a hospital is what the plane landed on as it crashed. There was, from what I understand, 2 survivors, but a lot of people lost their lives on this flight. So our prayers and condolences to the families of the victims from this tragedy. Let's now talk about the airstrikes into Iran. And by now, I imagine everyone is caught up on this story. Iran launched airstrikes into Israel yesterday evening, early morning. And the strikes continue even today. About an hour or two ago, I believe there were more airstrikes into Iran. And basically what we are looking at is a regime change operation. As I said in my video update yesterday, as we described on a recent live that we did on the Duran, me and Alexander, what we saw was a regime change operation conducted by Israel. The United States claims, and I'll get into this in a moment, they claim that this was a unilateral action. That is the statement coming out of the U.S. State Department. And they're warning Iran not to strike at U.S. military bases or facilities in the region. Otherwise, this will pull in the United States into this war, because that's what we have going on right now. We have a war that has been launched. I don't believe Iran has officially declared war. I don't even know if you officially declare war these days, to be quite honest. But it's a war. It's a regime change operation. Decapitation strikes yesterday, which were successful. Something is very, very off with Iranian intel. They obviously are not able to protect their officials and their nuclear scientists, because what we saw yesterday were decapitation strikes, which did take out a lot of high-level military commanders and a lot of nuclear scientists. The chief of staff of the Iranian Armed Forces, the commander-in-chief of the IRGC, the Revolutionary Guard, the chief advisor to Khamenei, and the commander of the Unified Combatant Command Headquarters. Those are the confirmed dead from the decapitation strikes, as confirmed by Iran. So the The decapitation strikes yesterday were successful. The strikes on military targets. Someone's fighting. Opa. Opa, opa. Siga, siga. Irema. Irema. Calm down. We have enough violence going on in the world. Greeks. We are a passionate people. Opa. So let's get back to the news. Distracting. It's distracting. So the attacks on military installations, military targets, we don't know yet how successful this was. We're getting reports that the Natanz reactor, which if it is a reactor, if they hit a reactor, it's a nuclear facility from what I understand, but there's the nuclear reactor. That's civilian if you're hitting a nuclear reactor for civilian nuclear energy, I imagine. But there are reports that Natanz was destroyed, but then we're also getting reports saying that's not the case. And even the IAEA, a very, very reputable and trusted organization, I'll get to them in a minute as well. Iranian authorities informed the IAEA, Bushehr, that the NPP is safe. The Natanz nuclear power plant is safe. So we don't know what's going on with the attacks on facilities, on nuclear reactors, nuclear sites, military sites where missiles were stored. We do have some videos of these sites being hit. For example, Kermanshah is in ruins after Israeli strikes. Today's aftermath in Kermanshah, a key IRGC missile base nestled in the Zagros Mountains near the Iraqi border, home to a vast underground facility. It's Iran's primary ballistic missile storage and launch site, now reportedly hit by Israeli airstrikes. We're getting a lot of reports, hard to confirm if this is true or not, of a lot of damage being done to various facilities. Obviously, Israel's going to show satellite images and put out reports that they destroyed a lot of facilities. And Iran has been quiet when it comes to the facilities. They were very quick to confirm the death of their military command, of many of their military higher-ups and of the nuclear scientists. But we haven't had any statements with regards to the military facilities, what has been confirmed to have been hit or not. Maybe we'll never get these statements from the Iranian government. So we'll wait and get some sort of a damage assessment over the next couple of days and see how accurate the damage assessment is and see how successful the strike was, at least when it comes to facilities. The nuclear facilities and the military facilities, the storage of missiles and all of these things. But the regime change was very, the opening salvos of the regime change operation, taking out these high-level military officials and nuclear scientists, was very successful. That's how it looks, the opening salvo of this strike. And we'll wait and see how far Israel takes this. Will they actually go after the very top political leadership of Iran? I would say, yeah. My guess would be that they are going to try and take out Pezeshkian and the high-level officials, the supreme leader, maybe. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if this is the ultimate goal, the ultimate target, because we are talking about regime change. They want to topple the Iranian regime. Actually, where is it? The son of the Shah, Reza Pahlavi, he actually posted on Twitter that it's time to overthrow the Islamic Republic. There is only one solution to the outgoing crisis with Iran, helping the Iranian people overthrow the regime that holds both Iran and the world hostage. This is a post from Reza Pahlavi. So let's get to Trump and what's going on with the United States in this mess of a war that has been started. And Trump spoke to Bret Baier of Fox News when the strike began. And he admitted that he was aware of the strike beforehand. I'm taking this from Fox News. President Donald Trump told Fox News' chief political advisor, Bret Baier, he was aware that Israel was going to conduct strikes on Iran before they happened. Iran cannot have a nuclear bomb, and we are hoping to get back to the negotiating table. We will see. There are several people in leadership that will not be coming back, Trump said. Trump has spoken to Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu several times in recent days. The Trump administration reached out to at least one key Middle Eastern ally, I imagine that's Saudi Arabia, to acknowledge that the strike was going to happen, but that the U.S. was not involved in the strikes. Trump is watching for any retaliation, and U.S. Central Command, CENTCOM, is on high alert. He noted that the U.S. is ready to defend itself and Israel if Iran retaliates. Trump said he hopes Iran returns to the negotiating table. He hopes Iran returns to the negotiating table. The latest news is that Iran is out of the negotiations, officially out of the negotiations. Amazing that he actually decided to say that he hopes Iran returns to the negotiating table. Trump actually believes that this is giving him leverage in negotiations. That's how clueless Trump has become. That's how clueless he is. He actually believes this is giving him leverage, just like he believes that all of the things done to Russia give him leverage, sanctions and hitting airfields and stuff like that, attacking passenger trains. Trump believes that all of this stuff gives him leverage in negotiations. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Trump has committed himself to protecting Israel. So he said if Iran retaliates, then the U.S. will come to defend Israel, which means that when Iran retaliates, because they're going to have to retaliate, that the U.S. will most likely get involved. It's already involved, but I mean publicly involved, because right now Rubio is coming out and saying that this was unilateral from Reuters. Rubio calls Israeli strikes against Iran unilateral, says the U.S. not involved. So officially the U.S. is saying they're not involved. Okay. But if and when Iran retaliates, then Trump is committed to get the U.S. involved. I don't know how Iran retaliates without getting the U.S. involved. I was thinking about this earlier today. I don't know how this can be done. But I imagine that's what Iran is going to try and do. Because you're going to have to retaliate. So how do you retaliate? And how do you do it in a way that does not get the U.S. openly involved? I don't know if that can be done. So that was Trump's message to Bret Baier yesterday. He's having a national security meeting, I believe, right now, as I'm recording this video, 11 o'clock Eastern time. He's having a national security meeting as well. And Trump posted on Truth Social a couple of hours ago. First he posted this message. One second. This is a long message. Let me read it to you. I gave Iran chance after chance to make a deal. I told them in the strongest of words to just do it. But no matter how hard they tried, no matter how close they got, they just couldn't get it done. I told them it would be much worse than anything they know, anticipated, or were told. That the United States makes the best and most lethal military equipment anywhere in the world by far, and that Israel has a lot of it, with much more to come. And they know how to use it. Certain Iranian hardliners spoke bravely, but they didn't know what was about to happen. They are all dead now, and it will only get worse. There has already been great death and destruction, but there is still time to make this slaughter, with the next already planned attacks being even more brutal, come to an end. Iran must make a deal before there is nothing left and save what was once known as the Iranian Empire. No such thing as the Iranian Empire anyway. No more death, no more destruction. Just do it before it is too late. God bless you all. Exactly what I just said. Trump actually believes that this gives him leverage, which it doesn't. It just makes the US look really, really bad. It makes Trump's presidency look really, really incompetent and dangerous and not trustworthy. You can't trust the Trump administration in any negotiations whatsoever. But he actually believes this is giving him leverage, or at least that's how he's trying to make this out. And then Trump posted, after that long post, an hour later, he put up on Truth Social, a foreign policy via Truth Social. He posted, 2 months ago, I gave Iran a 60-day ultimatum to make a great deal. They should have done it. Today is day 61. I told them what to do, but they just couldn't get there. Now they have perhaps a second chance. Now they have a second chance, perhaps. You know, Trump is trying to, he's admitting, on the one hand, he's admitting that the US is involved in this. He's admitting that. We have the most lethal weapons. He's propping up the MIC as well, as he's admitting this. We have the most lethal weapons, the best weapons. Yeah, but your weapons got totally smashed by the Russian military. But anyway, yeah, they got totally destroyed by the Russian military. Anyway, Trump is propping up the MIC. We make the best weapons. Israel is using these weapons. More is about to come if Iran doesn't make a deal. So make a deal now. Otherwise, we're going to continue to conduct this regime change operation. And that's his admission. On the one hand, that's his admission. On the other hand, he's saying that his administration is saying that this was a unilateral action. And then they're saying that if Iran retaliates, then they're going to get involved. It really does remind me of the Russian airfield strikes. That's what this reminds me of. This is much worse. In a way, it's much worse. Maybe not, I don't know. The Russian airfield strikes could have taken us to nuclear war. So, I mean, anyway, it's all bad. It's all just effing bad. Bad foreign policy, absolutely bad, reckless, dangerous, incompetent, clueless foreign policy from the United States, from Trump. But with the airfields, he gave the excuse that he had no idea what was going on. I had no idea what was going on. I had 18 months this was being planned. We control Ukraine from top to bottom. The CIA is all over Kiev. Our military is all over Kiev. We have a command center in Germany, or we had a command center in Germany. But I had no idea that there was going to be an attack on the airfields. No clue. He's doing the same thing here in a way. This was unilateral. This was a unilateral action. But more is going to come. More is going to come. But we had nothing to do with this. And if you retaliate, then we are going to get involved. Unbelievable statements from a U.S. president. Really unbelievable statements. And it's all done on social media posts. All of it is via social media. Trump doesn't even get in front of the American people from the Oval Office and put out a statement, which I would say is the least he can do. I'm taking you to war, America. But he doesn't want to do that because he's still working under the fiction that he's the president that doesn't do wars. Not anymore. He's going to get pulled into this war. He's already in this war, but he's going to get pulled in openly. Whenever I say he's going to get pulled into this war, I mean openly. We know that he's in this war. Netanyahu said as much in his statement yesterday. Netanyahu gave a statement in English because it was addressed to the American people, and he thanked Trump and the United States as the strikes were taking place in Iran. So, I mean, Netanyahu has already exposed Trump, the Trump administration, as being involved in this conflict. So I don't know who Trump thinks he's fooling. I don't think he's fooling anybody, but maybe there's a part of MAGA that he believes he's fooling with all of this. My guess would be that outside of the collective West, the rest of the world, the global South, is horrified by all of this. That would be my guess. Saudi Arabia has condemned these strikes. Qatar has condemned these strikes. I imagine the one Middle East country that Trump notified in his Fox News statement was Saudi Arabia, but maybe it was Qatar. I don't know. Maybe one of the two. That would be my guess. But even the collective West, even the vassal states, and they're all vassals. They're all vassals to the United States. Every single one of them in Europe, and Canada and Australia and New Zealand. They're all vassals to the United States. But I would bet that even there, they are horrified at what's going on and the stuff that Trump is saying. There are reports, and I cannot confirm this at all. So take this as a rumor, what I'm about to say. This is a rumor until this is confirmed. But there are rumors, I won't even say reports, that Netanyahu, fearing for his safety, got on a plane and came to Greece. He's hiding in a Greek island, on a Greek island. I cannot confirm this. These are reports that we're getting. This could be complete fake news. But if that is true, and I say big if that is true, then wow. You're taking us to a regional war, maybe even World War III, and you don't even stay in your own country, if this is true. There are also rumors. I think this is more credible, but once again, we can't confirm this, so maybe we have to give it a couple of days to see if this is true, that Mossad set up a drone launch truck or launch site inside Iran. And they launched the drones from inside Iran that hit a lot of the targets and some of the decapitation strikes. Does that sound familiar? If it's true that this was set up in Iran, then that's not a good sign when it comes to the strikes on the Russian airfields, because it's pretty much copy-paste if this operation inside Iran is confirmed. According to the Israeli Defense Forces, over 200 aircraft participated in 5 waves of strikes against Iran, dropping over 330 munitions on targets ranging from nuclear facilities, military bases, missile sites, military and political leadership, as well as nuclear scientists. There are reports saying that Mossad destroyed Iran's air defense systems in the operation inside Iran. From inside Iran, they destroyed Iran's air defense systems. Iran has a huge problem when it comes to locking down their country and their intel services. They have a really, really big issue there, very big issue. And it's been completely exploited by Israel and the United States. But the reports are that the air defenses were taken out, and then before the strikes actually happened, and that's why the Israeli jets were just free to fire their missiles and hit whatever target they wanted to. At least this is what the initial reports are telling us. So they're making mistakes everywhere. The Iranian leadership and the Iranian intel agencies and intel services, the way it looks to me is that they don't have a hold of things. And I wonder if Israel probably recognizes this, because they have very good intel in the region, as does the US. So I would not be surprised if they understand that things are not so locked down in Iran as they want people to think it is. And that's why they're trying to go for the quick decapitation. What Iran needs to do, and this is what we said on our live stream, Iran needs to really think about preserving its regime. Before retaliation, it needs to think about regime survival. You got regime change, which is playing out. Iran really needs to think about regime survival. Take a playbook out of Putin in Russia from many, many, many years ago. take a playbook from Russia where Putin made sure that his government, his economy, his military was all locked down, and that it would be impossible for any type of regime change to happen, any type of sinking of the economy through sanctions to happen. All of these things, Putin made sure. It took many years, many years, but Putin made sure that his government and his administration was fully in control of everything, knowing that eventually the neocons would come after him via Ukraine. So if you're Iran, what you should really be focusing on, even more than retaliation, you have to retaliate, but what you should really be focusing on is preserving the regime, because if you cannot preserve the regime, then you're toast, man, because they're coming after the regime. So Lindsey Graham is obviously excited. The president of the United States, the foreign policy president of the United States, posted on X, "Game on, pray for Israel." The foreign policy president of the United States, that's my term for Lindsey Graham. Foreign policy president of the United States, just like Jake Sullivan was foreign policy president under Biden, Lindsey Graham is foreign policy president under Trump. So Lindsey Graham is finally getting the war that he has been wanting for so long. Lindsey Graham has wanted this conflict with Iran more than China, much more than Russia. You have the Russia hawks. Lindsey Graham is a Russia hawk. You have the China hawks. Lindsey Graham is a China hawk. But you also have the Iran hawks, and man, Lindsey Graham is the number one Iran hawk. And for the neocons, going after Iran is a way for them to distract away from the failure and the loss in Ukraine, because that loss is coming and it's accelerating. And so in true neocon fashion, they make a mess of Ukraine, they make a mess of Europe, they get their butts handed to them in the conflict in Ukraine by Russia. Russia defeating the entirety of NATO, or is on the way to defeat the entirety of NATO. And what do the neocons do? They focus on Iran. That's what they do. And Trump went right along with them. His presidency is toast, man. The price of Brent crude oil is going up. 70, what's the number? 75. 75 a barrel. It was 68. So it's gone up a good 68, 70. I think it was at 70. So it's gone up a good $5. Probably go up more as this unfolds. Netanyahu said this is going to be a long conflict. It's going to take, he said, weeks to months is what he said. The strikes are going to continue. They're going after the leadership in Iran. They're going to continue until they take out the leadership. So yeah, the EU was talking about $45 a barrel. I don't think that's going to happen. Russian sanctions, bone-crushing sanctions, the oil price cap of $45. Yeah, that's not going to happen, at least not in the next month or two. So check out the live stream we did on the Duran, me and Alexander. About almost a 2-hour live stream where we take a lot of questions as well. Most of it is questions from you, and we go through the entire conflict, the war that is brewing, that has started. So let's, do we have any other news? Do we have any other news? Peter Szijjártó, the foreign minister of Hungary, he said that Hungary is going to be joining up with Slovakia, and they're going to oppose the European Commission's plan to abandon Russian energy supplies. We cannot agree with Ursula von der Leyen's initiative, which leads to a gross violation of the sovereignty of our states for the sake of the interest of Ukraine. That is what Peter Szijjártó said. So Hungary and Slovakia will oppose Ursula von der Leyen as she tries to put in place a $45 price cap on Russian oil as a war in the Middle East revs up. Parakeets are up there. They're up there. They're somewhere up there. You can listen to them sing. Parakeets have no idea what's going on. They have no idea that we're entering into a war. The world is entering into a war. The Bilderberg meeting is taking place in Stockholm, right? I believe so. Bilderberg elites quietly add depopulation to the official agenda. Depopulation is on the official agenda of the 2025 Bilderberg conference. Depopulation. That's what the Bilderbergs are going to talk about in Sweden. Let's cross. There's other items on the agenda as well that the elites are going to talk about. Let's see what else. While the media keeps you distracted, a group of global elites is meeting behind closed doors in Stockholm. Their agenda: Ukraine, AI, national security, and yes, depopulation. Attendees include Peter Thiel, Alex Karp, Albert Bourla, top U.S. military commanders, and the King of the Netherlands. Even Stacey Abrams is there for reasons no one can explain. What a bunch of nice people hanging out in Stockholm, talking about depopulation and AI and Project Ukraine. What a good group of people hanging out in Stockholm, deciding the fate of the world and national security. Ukraine, AI, national security, and depopulation. That's what's on the Bilderberg agenda. God help us. God help us. And we can do a kind of clown world, I guess. We have Ukraine government officials openly complaining about Marco Rubio congratulating the Russian Federation yesterday on Russia Day. I talked about this in my video update from yesterday, that the social media accounts, the pro-Ukraine social media accounts, were very upset at the United States, at Marco Rubio for congratulating Russia on celebrating Russia Day. And now you have statements from the Ukraine foreign minister, Mr. Shiba Inu. He said that he just cannot believe that the United States is congratulating Russia. He said Moscow should not be rewarded on the world stage. As a minister of a country at war, I found it especially unpleasant to read this morning that some countries were publicly congratulating Russia on its national day. Sibiga said at the Weimar Plus summit in Rome on Thursday, there can be no reward for an aggressor state. I have a moral right to say this. So that's the foreign minister of Ukraine, Mr. Shiba Inu, talking about how he's outraged that he doesn't even say the United States. This is how much of a vassal this guy is to the United States. This guy is such a vassal to the United States that he can't even mention the United States. He says some countries. Man, that's pathetic. That is pretty pathetic. You know you're a vassal when you can't even bring yourself to mention the country's name. Anyway, some countries are congratulating Russia, and he's very, very upset about this. And he's saying all of this while he's attending the Weimar Plus meeting in Rome. That sounds like a good event to attend as well, right? All kinds of great events going on, everybody. Got the Bilderberg in Stockholm. We got the Weimar Plus taking place in Rome. What a crazy clown world we live in. What a dangerous, crazy clown world we live in. That's the video, everyone. theduran.locals.com. We are on Rumble, Odyssey, BitChute, Telegram, and Rockfin. Go to the Duran shop, pick up some merch like what I'm wearing in this video update. There is a link in the description box down below. Take care.